Vol 1ch 79. On Saturday, the St. Hy's Academy's Family Sports Day proceeded as scheduled. As a new initiative, the school authorities attached great importance to this sports day. All facilities were luxurious, with venues large enough to accommodate several human dragon wars. Guided by the staff, the Leon family of 4 entered the venue. Leon held Muin in his arms. As they stepped into the vast venue, they were deeply attracted by the dazzling array of first-class awards displayed before them. If each of these were worth a fortune, they could buy many nice things for their donkey. Today, the great dragon slayer would defeat all the dragons. Of course, on the field. Your seats are over here, said a staff member. The family continued toward their designated seats. In the spectator stands for young dragons, each family was assigned a professional dragon caretaker to watch over the young dragons while their parents and relatives participated in the games. That was a considerate arrangement. After the family of 4 took their seats, Muin pointed to the track below, his chubby face filled with surprise. What a big venue. About 20 minutes later, the spectator stands were filled with people. Vice Principal Wilson sat at the lectern, adjusted the microphone, cleared his throat, and then announced, "The inaugural Family Parent-Child Sports Day of St. Hy's Academy begins now." At the Vice Principal's command, applause thundered through the spectator stands. It is worth mentioning that school sports days around the world follow almost identical procedures. Speeches are followed by the opening ceremony, with each class marching past the lectern in formation. After each class had showcased their performance, Vice Principal Wilson delivered a brief address, essentially stating, "Friendship first, competition second. I hope all students will do their best." With that, the sports day officially began. The first event went straight to the family relay race, no holds barred, living up to the reputation of a warrior nation. Each family sent 3 dragons, including at least 1 student. In the case of the Chrysalis dragon family, where only 1 parent was available, the school allowed them to invite a direct relative from their own tribe to form a team together. With more participants, the race became more exciting, and it also accommodated the few viviparous dragon families, allowing them to participate fully. "We've practiced relay races these past few days," Leon said. "Yeah, but let's not underestimate the competition. I just saw some electric dragons among the participants," Risvitha reminded. Electric dragons, like Risvitha's Silver Dragon clan, maximized their speed attribute. They were not to be taken lightly. Leon nodded, placing Muin on a chair. "All right, let's do this." The dragon caretaker assigned to them immediately approached and sat beside Muin. Muin was sociable, so she wasn't afraid of strangers talking to her. She sat obediently on the chair and waved to her family, "Good luck." "Got it." The trio headed to the edge of the track, warming up and preparing for the race. After receiving their race numbers, they began to decide the order of the relay. The relay race covers a total of 3,000 meters, with each person running 1,000 meters. The family with the shortest time wins, Noya explained. "Does that include the young dragons running 1,000 meters?" Leon asked. Noya nodded. If this were a human sports event, allowing children under 10 to run 1,000 meters would be considered student abuse. But when it comes to the dragon sports event, everything becomes reasonable. After all, the warrior nation capable of writing children's stories like How to Slay S-Class Dangerous Species in books like Dragon Hatchling Stories is definitely not to be judged by common sense. "So Mom goes first, I go second, Dad you go third, okay?" Noya was about to instinctively say Dad, but it seemed like the little one was a bit reserved or perhaps shy. In the end, she couldn't say it, but it was okay. Leon was already quite satisfied when he heard that faint syllable. At least it was a lot of progress compared to just forming the B mouth shape last time. The couple had no objections to their daughter's arrangement. "Once you've confirmed the relay order, please have all family members ready at their respective starting points. Our relay race is about to begin," shouted the referee on the sidelines. Since Leon's trio was at the starting point for the first leg, Risvitha didn't need to move. "All right, Mom, we'll go get ready," Noya said. "Okay, don't be nervous. Mom will definitely pass the baton to you first," Risvitha smiled, shaking the relay baton in her hand. Noya's stern little face also showed a smile. "Okay." After reassuring their eldest daughter, Risvitha looked up at Leon. The couple exchanged a glance, not saying much, just nodding at each other almost imperceptibly. Leon withdrew his gaze and accompanied Neue to the position for the second leg. Throughout the process, neither father nor daughter said a word. Neue took this sports event very seriously, so Leon didn't make any light-hearted jokes with her to relieve tension. With other children, it might have had some effect, but not with Neue. Once she got serious, anyone trying to be funny with her might just dampen her enthusiasm. It wasn't until they stood at the starting point for the second leg that Leon turned to her and said, "I'll be waiting for you at the third leg, Neue." "Okay," she replied. After a pause, Leon looked down at his right hand, then clenched it slightly and extended it towards Neue. "Could you give Dad some encouragement?" Understanding his gesture, Neue raised her small fist and gently tapped it against Leon's. Just like the day they took the entrance test together, both big and small fists could clearly feel each other's strength. After the fist bump, Leon turned and ran towards the starting point for the final leg. Once all families were in position, a dazzling dragon flame exploded in the air, and the race officially began. At the starting point for the first leg, a silver figure moved like lightning, its long tail trailing behind, leaving a blur that was astonishingly fast, eliciting gasps from the audience and commentators. Leon was about to make a small celebration, but then he saw another dragon catching up with Rosvitha. "Someone can actually keep up with Rosvitha's speed," Leon muttered in amazement. "HMPH, of course. It's not like only your Silver Dragon clan is good at speed," a voice came from beside him. Leon looked in the direction of the voice and saw a slender dog-like creature standing at 1.9 meters tall. Leon glanced down and noticed a faint lightning mark on the other dragon's tail. Electric Dragon Clan. During the war, Leon had a deep impression of the Electric Dragon Clan. Despite their low combat power, they were impossible to catch if they wanted to escape. They often launched feint attacks against Leon's troops, only to disappear without a trace afterward. It was what they called the toad tactics, not biting, but irritating. "Look, Misty of the Electric Dragon Clan has overtaken Rosvitha of the Silver Dragon Clan. She's leading by a body length." The commentator's voice was filled with excitement. Leon looked back at the first leg of the race. Indeed, the Mother Electric Dragon had surpassed Rosvitha, with Rosvitha now struggling to catch up from behind. The slender dog-like creature beside Leon chuckled triumphantly. Although this is an entertainment event, the final results somewhat represent the differences between the various clans, don't you think? Leon kept his hands in his pockets, remaining silent. "Oh, come on, my wife is already leading yours by 2 body lengths. Is there any point in continuing to watch?" The Electric Dragon seemed a bit smug. Leon glanced at him and replied casually, "Well, your wife is great." The Electric Dragon raised an eyebrow. Even though it was a compliment to himself, why did it sound strange? Before he could retort, Leon continued, "But mine is even better." On the track, there was now only 100 meters left until the second leg. Misty, the Electric Dragon, continued to lead the race. At this rate, her family would easily win the relay race championship. However, before she could feel too proud, she caught a glimpse of a silver figure beside her. The Silver Dragon behind her had caught up again. Rosvitha's lips curled slightly. Running in the lead, the wind resistance must be tough, right? What? So the reason this Silver Dragon had been trailing behind her was to reduce wind resistance using her body. Short-distance sprinting was the specialty of both Silver and Electric Dragons, so who would be faster depended on the final burst of speed. But Misty had been blocking the wind for Rosvitha the entire way. And her stamina was clearly dwindling now. Rosvitha accelerated explosively once again, dashing towards Neue's position amidst Misty's astonished gaze. The baton was passed. Neue, starting the second leg, began running alongside the little Electric Dragon beside her. After passing the baton, Misty bent over, hands on knees, panting heavily. Rosvitha, on the other hand, remained calm and composed, not a hint of exertion showing on her face. "Is that all? I haven't even broken a sweat yet." She turned her head to look at the third leg, where Leon was. He was far away, but he raised his arm and gave her a thumbs up. Rosvitha chuckled lightly and waved back in response. Then she turned her gaze to her daughter. Although Neue didn't have the advantage in age or height, she was soon caught up by Misty's son. But catching up was one thing, surpassing Noya was another. The two young dragons raced side by side on the track, neither giving an inch. From the looks of it, it seems like they're about to arrive at the third leg simultaneously. However, Noya ultimately lost due to her size. After all, she's still too young. That little electric dragon, with its advantage in age and leg length, gradually surpassed Noya. In the end, Noya arrived at the exchange point second. "I'm sorry, Look at Daddy." Leon would never let his obedient daughter blame herself. After taking the relay baton, he immediately chased after the slender electric dragon. Noya pinched her sleeve, biting her lower lip as she murmured softly, Leon's figure reflected in her eyes. "Come on, Dad." Guided by the staff, Noya arrived at the finish line through the express lane. Risvitha had been waiting here for a while. "Mom, I'm sorry, I wasted the advantage you gave me." Risvitha ruffled Noya's hair. "Noya, you did great. All your opponents are older than you. Let's cheer for Dad together now." "Okay," Noya nodded obediently. "Go Dad, Dad is the best," Muin cheered from the spectator stands. The little dragon girl indeed had the potential to be a cheerleader. On the track, Leon closely followed behind the slender electric dragon. "HMPH, why are you still struggling? I haven't even exerted myself yet, but I'm already so far ahead of you. Yet you seem to be giving it your all already," a teasing voice came from the front. Leon ignored it, silently adjusting his pace and breathing rhythm. "In 5 seconds, I'll be ahead of you by a full 5 seconds. Remember that." With those words, the slender electric dragon accelerated once again, pulling ahead of Leon by 3 positions. Leon clenched his teeth, continuously squeezing out the strength from his body. If he wanted to secure the first place in the overall results of the sports festival, he had to excel in every event. That was the safest approach. And don't underestimate my determination for the holidays, you bastard. That's a full 7 days. Leon suddenly accelerated, gradually catching up to the slender electric dragon. The two of them raced side by side, sprinting towards the finish line together. "Tusk, you actually caught up. Next, I'll accelerate even more. Can you keep up with me?" They chased each other relentlessly, not giving an inch. The audience was ignited by this intense chase, not expecting such excitement right at the beginning of the sports festival. This duel had captured the attention of everyone present, and the most astonishing thing was, not a single dragon in the audience could have imagined that the one rivaling the renowned speed of the dragon clan was actually a human. However, Leon's current speed was already at its limit. If the opponent continued to exert more force, it might indeed be a bit. "Go, Dad." Leon's ears keenly caught the voice. It wasn't Muin's. He looked towards the finish line, where Noya was jumping, waving at him and shouting loudly, "Dad, come on." "She called me Dad. She called me Dad. I've longed for that Dad for so long." At that moment in Leon's eyes, everything about speed, talent points and unbeatable physical limits was shattered by Noya's tiny figure. He couldn't afford to lose. Absolutely he couldn't lose. Leon roared as if he had returned to the battlefield of years past, driven by the belief that had repeatedly pulled him out of corpses, a belief in coming home. And now, this belief came from his daughter. With miraculous speed, he surpassed the electric dragon beside him. The electric dragon, sensing this, felt uneasy. It then moved with malicious intent, edging closer to Leon's side. Zap, a faint electric light flickered on the electric dragon's shoulder, gradually closing in on Leon. Leon had a keen sense for lightning or electric magic, given his background in studying lightning magic, and he could roughly guess what this electric dragon was up to. At that moment, standing at the finish line, Risvitha seemed to sense something amiss. The electric dragon was inexplicably getting closer to Leon, likely planning some trickery. Risvitha frowned slightly, her whole body tensing up. Leon cast a disdainful glance at the electric dragon beside him, snorting, "This time, let's settle old scores and new grudges together." "Old scores? Your electric dragon clan used to harass my troops like crazy back in the day, never engaging head-on. It was downright irritating. New grudges? Now you want to ambush me. How could I pass up such a good opportunity? This time you won't get away." Seeing Leon standing firm without flinching or realizing, the electric dragon continued to boldly approach. But little did the electric dragon know, Leon accurately seized the moment of its deceleration as it leaned in, taking big strides and completely overtaking it. the electric dragon's scheming failed, and its body even experienced a slight imbalance. But that wasn't the end of it. Leon ran ahead, vigorously shaking off the dust from his shoes. Because the electric dragon had gotten too close in its attempt to ambush Leon, it ended up getting a face full of dust kicked up by him. Some dust particles even got into its eyes, causing the electric dragon's vision to black out momentarily. Its body lost balance suddenly, and it fell forward, landing face first in the dirt. Oh, what a pity! The electric dragon competitor, who had a chance to contend for first place, unexpectedly made a mistake and fell down. Now, it seems the competition is without suspense, with the participant who was reluctant to show its tail taking the lead. The commentator remained enthusiastic. Amidst the cheers of his daughters, Leon crossed the finish line first. Noya jogged over, wanting to high-five Leon in celebration. To her surprise, Leon bent down and scooped her up. Noya was startled but didn't struggle. "What did you just call me?" "HM," Leon asked with a smile. Noya's face turned red and she averted her eyes. "Dad." "Ah, that feels good, Tilda, any more of that," Leon teased. "HMPH, wait until you win first place in the sports festival," Noya replied, turning her head away completely. Leon affectionately rubbed Noya's cheek. "You've got the same spirit as your mom." Risvitha also walked over, asking softly, "Are you okay? Didn't get hurt, did you?" Leon raised an eyebrow. "You saw that?" "Yeah, but because of the angle, it seems like the referee on the sidelines didn't notice. We should report it directly. We can't let them get away with it." Risvitha's expression was stern, indicating she was genuinely angry. "Who would have thought?" the thief cried, "foul." I'm reporting, he's cheating, seriously cheating." The voice came from the Misty family, the very electric dragon family that had just attempted to ambush Leon, but had been outsmarted by him. Upon hearing this, the referee team also approached to listen to the electric dragon's account of what happened. However, after over 10 minutes of discussion, the referees unanimously agreed. Leon did not commit a foul. "Why? My husband was injured because of him. Why isn't that considered a foul?" "Please calm down, madam. Leon's actions indeed do not constitute a foul. Instead, it seems your husband got too close during the race, which doesn't quite comply with the safety regulations," the referee explained. "Hey, you. Thank you for your hard work, referees. Since we're all here, why don't we take a look at the electric dragon's shoulder, just to see if his clothes got burnt by the electricity," Leon said as he walked over, still holding Noya. Risvitha followed beside him. "Burnt? What do you mean, Mr. Leon?" "This guy just tried to ambush me with electricity during the sprint. I got scared and ran for my life, accidentally kicking up some dust. But as you just said, that's not my fault, right?" Leon said convincingly, while Risvitha stifled a laugh beside him. The referee nodded. Go on, check the person's shoulder." Two referees approached and examined the electric dragon's shoulder. Indeed, there were traces of burnt on its clothes. Then, the referees took out a memory stone and replayed the footage of the sprint multiple times. In the footage, the electric dragon did indeed attempt to use a weak electric current to ambush Leon. The evidence of foul play is clear. According to the regulations, the Misty family's eligibility for future participation is revoked, and their current results are invalidated, the referee announced, then sighed. "The influence you have on your children with such actions is not good. I hope you learn from this." Visibly, the little electric dragon from that family looked extremely disheartened, clearly affected greatly by the incident. However, the adult electric dragon seemed defiant, about to retort, but as its gaze shifted past Leon's shoulder, it suddenly wilted. Leon also noticed this and turned to look back. A white-haired dragon was approaching. The old dragon was also slender, with a faint lightning symbol on its tail. The white-haired dragon walked up to Risvitha, nodding slightly. "My kin have caused trouble for your family. I am deeply sorry for this, Melkvi." Risvitha smiled faintly. "I hope you can discipline your kin, Sol. Luckily, my husband was quick-witted this time and wasn't injured. If he had been injured earlier, a simple apology from you wouldn't suffice." "I understand, Melkvi. I will take care of the Misty family when I return." "Good." With a glance from Sol, the Misty family scurried away, following him out of the arena. Leon leaned over to Risvitha and asked, "Who is that old man?" "The leader of the Electric Dragon clan, Sol." "Ah, top-notch treatment." Risvitha chuckled and gave him a playful glare. All you think about is achievements, huh? Leon chuckled mischievously, then jokingly praised Rosvitha. Anyway, dear wife, you've got quite the face. HMPH, any normal dragon clan should apologize to me like the Soul clan did, as long as they're not as arrogant as those silly dragons from the Red Flame clan. As Rosvitha finished speaking, she seemed to realize something was amiss. She promptly elbowed Leon. Who's your wife? Don't call me so affectionately. Vol 1ch, 80. After the relay race came some routine competition events, such as high jump, long jump, javelin throw, and the like. As usual, the family of three worked together, and the final total score was added up to determine the rankings. Each race in the dragon community had its own strengths. However, in events that didn't involve speed, the Silver Dragon clan didn't have much of an advantage. Rosvitha and Noya were a bit worried that the advantage gained from winning the relay race might be wasted in the upcoming events. But as it turned out, with Leon around, their worries were unfounded. It could only be said that Leon was so ridiculously strong that he wasn't even counted in the rankings. He was like an invincible hexagonal warrior. If you looked at him individually, whether in terms of strength or speed, Leon would definitely be outmatched by certain dragon clans. But when it came to overall ability, Leon's advantage shone through, and this was the Dragon Clan Sports Festival. Rosvitha only had to spend some time with him, and he could achieve this level of performance. If it were his peak, wouldn't he be unbeatable? If someone like Leon could continue to stay on the battlefield, it would definitely put pressure on all the dragon clans, right? Leaving aside the slightly hellish implications, this was a human who could still impregnate someone before dying. In every aspect, he truly deserved the title of the strongest dragon slayer. That's what Rosvitha thought. After the routine competitions ended, there was no doubt that the total score of Leon's family ranked first. In response, the two little dragon girls were ecstatic to the extreme. As long as they perform normally in the final fun game segment, there's basically no suspense. Leon, vacation, vacation, vacation. All right, for the final event of this family sports festival, the fun games are about to begin. Let me announce the rules of the competition. The school staff explained from the lectern, in the fun games segment, the adult dragons and young dragons of each family will compete separately. The game for the young dragons is Protect the Balloon. Staff will attach balloons to the backs of the young dragons, and once the balloon is popped, they are eliminated. The young dragons will be placed in a designated area for the competition, and the last one remaining will be the winner. While the adult dragons will participate in the two-person three-legged race in another area. Trigger keyword, two-person three-legged race. Leon and Rosvitha looked at each other simultaneously. They could both see the same signal in each other's eyes. Qin Shihuang touches the electric door, win. Win! The two-person three-legged race was their first tacit training, and their synchronization was excellent. And Rosvitha's prediction was also quite accurate. The final and most critical event was indeed related to the two-person three-legged race. However, Leon didn't rush to open the champagne. Past experiences had taught him that in this damn school, every halftime champagne popping almost ended in disaster. Like the initial interview or the later model family speech. Those moments had truly taken half of Leon's life. As for the specific contents of the two-person three-legged race, please proceed to the starting point. Explore and enjoy the surprises during the game tilde. Leon grinned, his mouth curling up. Haha, just as I thought. Thank goodness we didn't open the champagne. All the adult dragons from each family gathered at the starting point of the two-person three-legged race. The staff tied ropes around their ankles. After being fastened together, Leon naturally wrapped his arm around Rosvitha's waist. Rosvitha glanced at the hand resting on her waist, then looked at Leon teasingly. You're too skilled at hugging me, aren't you? Practice makes perfect, darling. Idiot. Despite her words of disdain, Rosvitha, like Leon, expertly wrapped her arm around his waist. The touch was still wonderful. Looking ahead from the starting point, there was a temporary structure about 50 meters away, a small compartment with an opaque door. Inside would likely be the first challenge they would face. Strangely, there was a hint of anticipation. Okay, get ready, tilde. The referee raised the dragon flame in his hand. Begin. With the starting signal echoing in the air, the tethered adult dragons sprinted forward, but they stumbled and fell. What's going on? Why didn't you step with the foot that's tied together first? What? I thought we should step with the outer foot first. Idiot, hurry up and get up. This is so embarrassing. Darling, are you okay, darling? I think I pulled a muscle. Silence followed. At the referee's signal, cries of pain echoed across the field. Damn it, why would there be such a torturous event? Who can even do this? Complained one adult dragon. No, wait, there are people who can do it. His companion reached out, pointing towards the track ahead. On the track, two figures, one black, one silver, were closely pressed together. Their arms were wrapped around each other's waists, their footsteps synchronized perfectly, without any hint of discord. Who are these dragon special forces? This isn't just a matter of leading other adult dragons by a few lengths. If these dragons keep up this performance, the championship should just be handed over to this Silver Dragon family. Realizing this, the adult dragons from each family rallied themselves. Although their rhythm and coordination were as chaotic as a pot of porridge, they managed to move forward, albeit barely. Meanwhile, Leon and Risvitha were the first to reach the small compartment amidst the astonished gazes of the audience. They pushed open the door and stepped inside, expecting some kind of intellectual challenge. However, they were greeted only by a table, 2 chairs, and an entire basin of noodles. Steam rose from the fresh, slender noodles, emitting a rich wheat fragrance. With the hot broth, the noodles gave off a delicious aroma that made mouths water just from the scent alone. However, this is a whole basin of noodles. Not a bowl, not a plate, but a basin. As Leon and Risvitha walked into the compartment, the nearby memory stone also began playing the video. Welcome to the first challenge, family feeding. The rules of this challenge are as follows. Family member A must eat all the noodles in front of you under the feeding of family member B to pass this challenge. Remember, do not change roles midway, as that constitutes cheating, and the recording stone will monitor the entire process. Also, the noodles for this competition are sponsored exclusively by Teswa Young Dragon Noodles. Teswa, especially Silky Tilda. Leon smirked, unable to resist the comment. They even have product placement now. You eat, I'll feed, Risvitha said. She chuckled inwardly, feeling mischievous. Leon paused. So, you've already decided I'm the one who's supposed to eat. Don't you want our daughter to win first place? Risvitha stepped forward, pulling Leon along to the table. Once seated, Risvitha picked up a fork, skewered a bunch of noodles, and held them out to Leon's mouth, speaking softly. Here, let me feed you, Artilda. Strange. This mother dragon suddenly seemed so gentle, almost unnaturally so, even during a competition. Leon eyed her suspiciously as he opened his mouth and ate the noodles. Hiss. As he swallowed the noodles, Leon didn't notice anything strange. Maybe the mother dragon should play some tricks after all, otherwise, these noodles wouldn't sit well with him. Delicious. Here, take your time eating, no rush. Risvitha smiled sweetly as she skewered another portion of noodles and fed them to Leon. Unintentionally, Leon ended up eating several portions in quick succession, and he finally noticed something was off. Despite her words of "take it easy," her feeding speed was so fast that it left afterimages. 20 seconds, Leon had already been fed 4 or 5 portions. The rapid feeding, combined with his attempts to keep up, left him feeling overwhelmed. Slow down, we're already in first place, no rush. All right, I'll follow your lead. Here, open up, Tilda, Risvitha sweetly replied, but her hands didn't stop moving. Leon blinked, muttering, I thought you said to slow down, as he obediently opened his mouth. After Risvitha fed him the noodles, she eagerly skewered another portion. Leon swallowed hard, waving his hand. I can't do it anymore, let me take a break. No, don't be lazy when eating, it's a sign of laziness. Come on, dear, open up, Tilda. Dear. Risvitha's sweetest tone yet. Even though she said dear sweetly, the speed at which she was feeding him was too fast to handle, even for 10 dears. And based on Leon's understanding of Risvitha, she wouldn't be so attentive to him just because of a competition. In the blink of an eye, Leon realized what was happening. It was revenge. This was the mother dragon's revenge. Not long ago, when Rosvitha had just awakened, Leon had pressured her to drink fish soup. Oh no, the mother dragon had seized the opportunity for payback. Come on, dear, move a little, come on, dear. Wife, calm down, the principal just said. Friendship comes first, competition second. Yeah, you're third, so friendship and competition are both more important than you. For Noya's sake, eat up, dear Tilda. With that, Rosvitha pinched Leon's chin and stuffed a noodle into his mouth. MMMPH. Meanwhile, outside the booth, the game host's commentary continued. All right, folks, after the Melkvi family, several other families have arrived at the first stage. Oh, Tilda, watching them feeding each other affectionately reminds me of my first love. We also had a beautiful romance, Tilda. Look, the wife of the Rose family is tenderly preparing napkins for her husband. And the husband of the Cantor family, he's gazing lovingly at his wife throughout the noodle-eating process. It's so touching, so touching. Now, what about our exemplary family, the Melkvi family? Let's see. Oh, it's a bold scene indeed. We can see that the husband of the Melkvi family seems to want to escape the table, but because of the two-person three-legs rule, he can't leave his wife more than 2 steps away. Only to see Melkvi's wife, using her Silver Dragon speed advantage, frantically stuffing noodles into her husband's mouth. The action is so fast, it's almost like they're sparring. Then, I'd like to ask a rather private question. Do you two feed each other like this at home too? Despite the boldness, Rosvitha and Leon still managed to pass this stage with a first-place score. Congratulations on passing the first stage. There's some digestive aid medication outside the door, just take it with water, and it works quickly. The couple got up, Rosvitha beaming with joy, supporting the pale-faced Leon as they exited the booth. Sure enough, there was a glass of water and a digestive aid pill outside the door. She helped Leon take it and gently patted his chest. You're so brave, my warrior. This wasn't caring, this was the satisfaction of successful revenge. Leon gave her a side-eye but didn't say anything, just looking out at the lanes on either side as if they were the first group to come out. Despite the painful process, they were still far ahead. Let's move on to the second stage, Leon said. Because the digestive aid hadn't taken effect yet, they slowed down their pace a bit. The second stage was also conducted in a small booth. Once inside, it was the same setup. A table, 2 chairs, but this time, there was a game host sitting opposite them. Please have a seat. The second stage is called Answer Irrelevantly. I will randomly ask you various questions, but remember, your answers must be completely unrelated to the question asked. For example, if I ask this gentleman for his name, you should answer I am male or I have a daughter, and so on. There are 10 questions in total, and if you answer with a related response, you'll be penalized for 10 seconds. The challenge of this game lay in restraining oneself from giving reflexive answers to those silly questions. And now, with time as a penalty, it's inevitable to feel a bit nervous, leading to some answers slipping out unintentionally. The couple exchanged a glance and then took their seats. After all, speaking with one's mouth but meaning something else was just basic skills. The second stage began. So for the first question, sir, what color is your wife's tail? Please answer immediately. The host's pace was quite fast, clearly trying to pressure Leon. Leon had just been pressured by his wife, and his mouth almost subconsciously formed the shape of Y, but fortunately he stopped himself just in time. Duck. Very good, excellent. It seems that this gentleman. Before the host could finish praising, he immediately turned to Rosvitha. What is your husband's profession? Dragon Slayer, OHUH, Draconian I mean. The host was also taken aback. Do we have Draconians as a branch? This question doesn't count for the challenge. Oh yes, we do. It's a small branch that has already disbanded. My husband married into our Silver Dragon clan from there. Rosvitha quickly tried to smooth things over. The host nodded. Okay, next question. The following questions were still those that were usually easy to answer without much thought. However, according to the game rules, they couldn't answer correctly. During the process, Leon and Rosvitha made some mistakes and were penalized for 20 seconds, but they managed to find their rhythm and stumbled through to the last 2 questions. Sir, which part of your body are you most satisfied with? My wife. Rosvitha couldn't help but cover her face silently. Even if they were following the rules and giving unrelated answers, Did they have to make it so outrageous? Okay, for the last question. Today's weather is very nice, perfect for holding a sports event. I really want to know how the situation is over in the young dragon group. The host kept throwing out these smoke bombs, chatting one moment and throwing out a question the next. Leon stared at the host's mouth, swallowing nervously. If I could, maybe I would become a forest ranger after retirement. Do you love your husband? Love, Risvitha almost blurted out. Leon, host. Sure enough, they stumbled on the last question. Just wait for me to be penalized for 10 seconds here. But just as the host was about to penalize them, Risvitha, in a moment of inspiration, turned the situation around. Love, oops, lazy when it comes to doing homework. The host was taken aback. You managed to twist it around like that. Risvitha also breathed a sigh of relief. The host, feeling helpless, made a gesture of "you're something else," but didn't deliberately make things difficult for them. After all, it was an entertainment competition, so as long as everyone was happy, it was fine. Well, congratulations to both of you for passing the second stage. The host stood up and opened the door for them. But seriously, being able to instinctively answer, love must be true love. Risvitha, don't take it seriously, I just said it without thinking. Vol 1ch, 81. The final challenge of the two-person, three-legged race took place in an outdoor kitchen, where several dozen makeshift cooking stations were neatly arranged in an open space. Leon and Risvitha were still the first to reach this final challenge. Welcome both of you to the last challenge, titled Cooking with Love, announced the host. A qualified family dish shouldn't only consist of top-notch ingredients and exquisite craftsmanship, but it should also be filled with abundant love for the family. Only when cooked with love can a dish truly be considered delicious. Now, the rules of this challenge are simple. Each family will draw lots to determine the type of dish they need to prepare. The competition lasts for 1 hour. Finally, Vice Principal Wilson, the representative from Teswa Noodles, and a renowned food critic will be the judges. All right, the first family to arrive at this challenge, the Melkvi family, please begin your cooking filled with love. Oh, and please note, during the cooking process, you must not untie the ropes around your ankles. Let the love flow through the ropes to each other. This time, the couple rolled their eyes simultaneously. Competition was competition. There was no need for such awkward activities. Even if they were a fake family, real families wouldn't be able to stand it, right? However, their thoughts were soon shattered by the arrival of another family. My dear husband, I will definitely use my deepest love to create the most delicious family dish with you. Honey, I will also reciprocate your love with all my might. Let's get started quickly. Leon and Risvitha were nauseated by this scene and couldn't find words to express it. You guys are really showing off. What if we end up drawing to make a bowl of dog food later? Risvitha snapped back to reality first and nudged Leon's arm. Let's go, we need to draw lots. All right. They approached the lot drawing box, exchanged glances, and Leon volunteered. I'm feeling lucky, I'll do it. Drawing lots also had its nuances. If they drew something with a simple preparation method and a guaranteed delicious taste, it would greatly improve their final ranking. On the other hand, if they drew something complicated to make, and even a slight mistake in ingredients would affect the taste, then the couple would be in big trouble. Leon reached into the lot drawing box and rummaged around before finally deciding and grabbing a piece of paper. Risvitha leaned in as Leon slowly unfolded it. Cream. The first two words revealed were cream. The couple immediately breathed a sigh of relief. A good draw. Why was it considered a good draw? Simply because they hoped a simple cream dish would overshadow whatever others produced, helping Leon's family to overcome some obstacles. The deliciousness of cream could elevate any dish, ensuring Leon and Risvitha's victory in the competition. As for flour, eggs, and sugar, they each had their share of the credit. For the audience, it was a good draw. For the principal's taste buds, it was a good draw. And for Leon and Risvitha, it was indeed a very good draw. With just the mention of cream, Leon already knew he could start laughing without even looking at the specifics. Cream puffs. Cream puffs. The couple had opened the champagne a bit too early. This laughter also brought back memories of that night, a month ago, with Long Dali. That night with Long Dali was truly unforgettable for them. Leon, who was driven mad after knocking heads with Long Dali, and Rosvitha, who was both resistant and welcoming, equaled Cream Puffs, the adult version. Even the next morning, Rosvitha deliberately used a cream puff to awaken Leon's memory of the previous night. However, they never imagined they would one day face revenge from Cream Puffs. Caught off guard, the two blushed in unspoken understanding, feeling a mix of emotions. "So this is what you call good luck," teased Rosvitha. Leon's face reddened. "Unfair, this is too targeted. It makes me think of things I shouldn't." Rosvitha held back her embarrassment. "But can you even make cream puffs?" "How would you know if I can or can't?" Leon replied bluntly. "You. And besides, didn't you make them once before?" Rosvitha felt her scalp tingle. "That was Anna, not me. I have no idea how to make pastries like that." Leon covered his face with both hands, his fingers buried in his hair. "Who put cream puffs in the lot drawing box? I'm going to give them a piece of my mind. Can't we redraw?" "We can, but then we'll lose our chance at being champions." As the couple pondered their predicament, a nearby staff member approached. "What did you draw?" "Oh, cream puffs, what a great draw." Leon grinned awkwardly. "Thank you." "So are you two not particularly skilled in making pastries?" the staff member asked. They both nodded. "Oh, that's all right. To prevent such situations, we've prepared detailed instructions for making each dish." With that, the staff member pulled out a sealed plastic sheet from their backpack, containing the tutorial for making cream puffs. From the first step to the last, everything was clearly written out. "It's a family competition, so just focus on having fun. Good luck to both of you." Because they were tied together by ropes, they helped each other put on aprons without making eye contact. But even though they were just helping each other dress, why did they keep imagining scenes of undressing? After preparing themselves, Rosvitha rolled up her sleeves and steadied her mind to follow the tutorial. The first step, milk. Just the mention of milk made Rosvitha hesitate. "Pour the milk into a small saucepan. Milk. Oh, there it is, pass me the milk," she said, reaching out. Leon obediently handed it over, not daring to say much or look too much. The second step, butter. Butter what? The third step, fill. Fill what? Why did all the vocabulary sound so innocent when taken out individually, but as soon as you thought about it even a little bit, it became somewhat inappropriate? Rosvitha's face grew redder the more she thought about it, and she found it increasingly difficult to control her thoughts. After all, the memories of that night were too profound. Finally, Leon couldn't help but ask, "Why are you blushing? Are you shy about making cream puffs?" Rosvitha blushing was no mystery to Leon. He just wanted to strike first before Rosvitha could mock him. "Who's blushing? It's hot. And you looking all flustered, are you thinking about something dirty?" Leon retorted. "How can you call it dirty?" Rosvitha countered. Seeing an opportunity, Rosvitha continued, "Hey, I didn't even say what it was, and you're already confessing." "I have a temper," Leon began. "Enough," Rosvitha slapped the recipe onto Leon's chest. "Let's get to work. You sift the flour, I'll beat the eggs. Hurry up." Okay. Meanwhile, Leon heard the energetic commentary from another area. "Oh, tilde, it seems our balloon battle royale has entered its most intense stage, with only 4 young dragons left on the field. 2 of them are from the Claw Dragon tribe, 1 from the Ice Dragon tribe, and for some reason, the 3 young dragons seem to have reached some kind of tacit agreement, simultaneously attacking the remaining young Silver Dragon. I remember her, she's called Noya, the youngest student in the Dragonling department this year, but she excels in all subjects. So, can little Noya break free from the siege of the 3 larger young dragons? Let's wait and see." At the sound of this, Leon and Rosvitha looked towards the balloon battle royale game area not far away. As expected, 3 young dragons, who looked to be around 7 or 8 years old, were attacking Noya. It seems that Noya's feat of taking on 3 opponents alone has spread throughout the Dragonling department, so now they're teaming up to deal with her first, Leon said. "Will Noya be in any danger?" Rosvitha asked, feeling worried. "No, I believe in our daughter." Rosvitha blinked, savoring Leon's slip of the tongue. "Our daughter." Before Queen Rosvitha could fully process this, she heard Leon excitedly shout, "Yes, beautiful backflip. Let's show them who's boss, kiddo." As he spoke, a puff of flour unexpectedly landed on Rosvitha's cheek. Leon, too excited, accidentally swung his fist, flinging the flour stuck to it. Seeing this, Leon hurriedly stepped forward to wipe it off for her. Sorry, our daughter was just too awesome, I couldn't contain myself. He pinched the sleeve of his shirt and wiped the flour off Rosvitha's face. However, this scene happened to be noticed by the game host. While Noya is not backing down from a 1-on-3 situation, her parents, amidst the intense cooking competition, also don't forget to care for each other. My goodness, what a loving couple, to incorporate such care for each other even in such detail. Leon's action of wiping Rosvitha's face froze in place. Originally, both Leon and Rosvitha thought it was just a minor incident, but after the host's commentary, it turned into a display of affection. It just goes to show that there's no such thing as a small matter. Fortunately, the audience seats are far enough away, so they can't see clearly, Leon reassured. Unfortunately, although everyone may not see clearly from afar, let's bring out our large-scale photo stone and project the real-time footage of the competition above the field. The large-scale photo, stones on both sides of the field activated, instantly projecting the scene of Leon wiping Rosvitha's cheek for everyone to see. Everyone in the audience could see it clearly. Principal Wilson, sitting in the VIP spectator seats, leaned back on the sofa, smugly stroking his beard. Truly a model couple I've chosen. They might as well have the words "loving couple" written on their faces. The noodle representative and the renowned food critic next to him also nodded in agreement. The entire audience was moved by this display of familial affection. But the two parties involved didn't seem to share the sentiment. Which dragon do I have to slaughter to end this sports day early? Leon gritted his teeth. My suggestion is to slaughter all the witnesses. After this small conversation, the couple refocused their attention on making cream puffs. The fourth step, shape the cream puffs into the desired shape. Rosvitha frowned as she read, "The shape I want, but the only molds provided by the school are." As she looked at the only mold available, Leon had already picked it up and was comparing its length and thickness in his hand. Rosvitha silently covered her face. Forget it, this is a problem with the mold, it has nothing to do with me, I don't like this shape at all. Rosvitha comforted herself inwardly as she shaped her cream puffs. As the cream puffs were nearing completion, Leon also heard good news from Noya's side. Let's congratulate Noya K. Melkvi, who, against all odds, has secured the final victory in protecting the balloons. The tiny figure stood in the center of the field, so exhausted that she could barely stand straight, panting heavily, but she still raised her right hand high and gave a thumbs up towards Leon and Rosvitha's direction. Sis did great, did you see that? That's Muen's sister, she's super awesome. The cheerleaders in the spectator seats didn't forget their duty. So if their daughter achieved such great results, how could the parents fall behind? With renewed determination, Leon and Rosvitha prepared to tackle the final step of making cream puffs. Slice open the side of the cream puff, then fill it with cream. Rosvitha swallowed hard, fill it. This verb once again stirred up memories she'd rather forget. Leon could only vaguely recall the incident with Long Dali, but Rosvitha remembered every detail of that night vividly. When they said, fill, it was no exaggeration at all. What's wrong, afraid of spilling cream outside? Don't worry, I'll do the cream filling, you just help me open the cream puff, Leon urged. What's with the the team next to us is almost done, we need to hurry. Here, take this, Leon said, handing the sliced cream puff to Rosvitha. Rosvitha lowered her head and gently opened the slice on the side of the cream puff. Something wasn't right. It was very, very wrong. This action seemed familiar from that night. Hold it steady, I'm going to squeeze the cream in, Leon reminded her. It's okay. Squish, squish. Hey, slow down, it's leaking, Rosvitha exclaimed in a panic. Oh, sorry, applied too much pressure. In the end, with their combined efforts, the 3 cream puffs were successfully completed. The couple leaned down, shoulders rubbing against each other, admiring the delicious pastry they had created together. Indeed, the dirtiness lies within our hearts, not the cream puffs themselves, Leon admitted with some self-awareness. Remove the we, and it's only you who's dirty, thank you very much. Tusk, how can you say that? You were the one who used cream puffs as a metaphor back then. I was innocent then, Leon retorted. Rosvitha gave him a sidelong glance, then stood up straight, picked up the tray and said, "Let's go, it's time to turn it in." It was indeed time to submit their dish. Actually, Leon would prefer to use the term tribute, but he wondered what score their cream puffs would receive, which could trigger their shameful memories. Whether their dish was filled with love, Leon wasn't sure, but there was definitely resentment. At this moment, Vice Principal Wilson and the other two judges had already arrived at the judging table. Before approaching, the staff untied the ropes from Leon and Rosvitha's feet. Freedom at last. The couple carried the tray and walked up to the judges' table. Each of the three judges took a cream puff and began to taste them carefully. First was the review from the responsible person for the Silver Dragon noodles. Not bad, but it would be even better with some shredded meat. I'll give it a 7. Next was the review from the renowned gourmet. The cream puff pastry is crispy and delicious. The cream is smooth and delicate. Although it lacks the bashful charm that makes one lower their head in embarrassment, it has a unique taste of happiness. I'll give it a 9. Leon leaned in close to Rosvitha's ear and whispered, "If bullshitting could make one a gourmet, then count me in." Rosvitha suppressed a smile and gestured for him to be quiet. Finally, Vice Principal Wilson gave his evaluation. "This cream puff is full-bodied in appearance, with a rich aroma of cream. I presume both of you often make these at home, don't you?" The couple exchanged glances, silently urging each other to respond to this extremely embarrassing question. In the end, it was Rosvitha who whispered, 7-day vacation. Leon then bravely spoke up. "Yes, Principal, my wife and I often make these at home. We both love cream puffs and enjoy the process of making them." As he said these words, he kept reminding himself inwardly, "Cream puffs are pure, it's only the heart that's dirty. As long as my heart remains pure, then I'm talking about cream puffs." Yes, it's about cream puffs. Haha, it seems that the private life of the two of you is also quite colorful. So may I ask, does this cream puff contain your special feelings? The couple knew exactly what the vice principal wanted to hear at this moment. It's just like the interview at the beginning, telling lies with eyes wide open. So the two of them exchanged a glance, then very tacitly held each other's hand. "Hey, why are they getting more proficient at this?" "Yes, Vice Principal, although cream puffs are ordinary, our deep and special love is infused into them," said Rosvitha. Leon glanced at the creamy white cream on the cream puff and nodded. Very rich, very rich." "What a satisfying answer, full marks. I give full marks. Congratulations to both of you. Truly deserving of being the exemplary family I have my eye on. Their love can actually make such ordinary food taste so delicious. How many families can achieve that?" After the scoring was over, Noya also came to join them, waiting together for the final ranking. About half an hour later, Vice Principal Wilson held the list and slowly announced, "So, the ranking of the first Family Parent-Child Sports Festival of St. High's Academy is out. Let me announce the top 3. In third place, it's the Alex family from the Claw Dragon clan. They will receive a noodle coupon provided by Silver Dragon Noodles, valid for 50 years. In second place, it's the Rose family from the Wind Dragon clan. Their reward is a B-rank rare magic grimoire. And the first place, The principal deliberately elongated the tone, arousing the audience's curiosity. Leon couldn't help but clench his fist, and Noya hugged her mom's arm even tighter. Before that, how about we listen to a short advertisement for Silver Noodles? Sighed . There was a collective sigh from the audience. The vice principal smiled and raised his hand. "Keep calm, it's just a little joke. Now, let's announce the first place, and they are the Melkvi family from the Silver Dragon clan. Let's congratulate them." The entire audience of thousands of dragons stood up to applaud them. Noya and Rosvitha visibly sighed in relief. As the first place winners, your reward is a luxurious 7-day hot spring vacation. Upon hearing this, Leon's smile froze. Vol 1ch, 82. Once a perfect vacation lay before him, but he didn't cherish it. It was only after winning the championship that he regretted deeply, for the most painful thing after defeat and capture was this. If given another chance by the heavens, he would surely choose to be a holiday-loving otaku. If he had to set a limit for this vacation, he hoped it would be 7 days. Excerpt from the glorious abstract life of Leon Casmode, the Empire's strongest dragon slayer. Leon lay in the top-tier hotel of Sky City. Beneath him was a soft, plush bed, and the room was filled with the aroma of high-quality incense. On the bedside table lay a magic bell, said to summon professional service within 2 minutes with just a light tap. The service personnel could be meticulous and refined Sebastian, or cheeky and sexy black-stocking dragon maids, depending on your personal preference. Of course, regardless of the service, it was all in pure green. For the entire afternoon, Leon lay in the hotel, mourning his lost 7-day otaku holiday. Mourning by himself wasn't enough. Every half hour, he rang the bell and asked the approaching Sebastian or dragon maid, "Do you yearn for a vacation?" And the service personnel, after rigorous training, uniformly replied, "What we yearn for is for you, our esteemed customer, to have a wonderful vacation." Wonderful. Wonderful minotaurs. Can you see the word wonderful on my grieving face? Or do you not know how to read at all? Knock, knock, knock. The sound of knocking interrupted. "I didn't call for room service," Leon replied from his bed. "It's me," came Rosvitha's voice. Leon rolled his eyes and ignored her. She clearly took an extra key to a Leon room when they checked in this morning. Now she's knocking, pretending to be polite. The weasel wishes the chicken a happy new year, not with good intentions. Leon lifted the covers and burrowed underneath. Knock, knock, knock. "Open the door, Leon, it's urgent." What could be so urgent? She's the lady of the champion family. She's like a little cow riding a hot air balloon, a cow flying in the sky. I'm furious, I don't want to deal with this. Leon rolled onto his side, covering his ears with the blanket. Click. The lock clicked, and Rosvitha indeed let herself in with the key. The sound of high heels echoed in the room, finally stopping by Leon's bed. Luckily, he had turned away just in time, now facing away from Rosvitha. "Turn around, I need to talk to you," Rosvitha said. "I'm asleep." "Then why are you answering me in your sleep?" Leon closed his eyes, refusing to respond. Tap, tap, tap. Rosvitha, in her high heels, circled around the foot of the bed and approached the other side, where she could face Leon directly. But then, Leon rolled over to the other side again. Rosvitha, hands on hips, biting her lip in frustration, marched back around. And yet, Leon rolled back again. So he turned, she circled, he turned again. After a few rounds of this, Rosvitha lost her patience. She kicked off her shoes, climbed onto the bed, and sat on his waist. "Don't worry, I won't touch you for these 7 days, Rosvitha said sincerely. "You're saying that while sitting on my waist doesn't exactly inspire trust, you know." Rosvitha lifted her hips slightly, flipping Leon onto his back, and then... Rosvitha settled herself on his stomach. "Feeling better now?" she asked. Leon was speechless. He covered his face with his hands and let out a heavy sigh. Rosvitha gently pushed his chest. "I know this holiday means a lot to you, but the school arranged this 7-day hot spring trip with fixed dates, and they won't wait for anyone who's late." Understandingly, Rosvitha continued, "But think about our daughters. They're so happy. When they're happy like their dad, won't you be happy too?" "Yeah, I'm thrilled," Leon replied sarcastically. "And I promised I really, really won't touch you," Rosvitha added, holding up 3 fingers plus her tail for emphasis. But Leon wasn't buying it. She promised not to touch him. That didn't mean she wouldn't touch herself. With hands and a tail attached to her body, she could still touch wherever she pleased. Leon grunted and buried his head under the pillow. Rosvitha pressed down the pillow. "What do I need to say for you to believe me?" "Bring me 2 boxes of dragon strength and I'll believe you," Leon replied. "Don't be ridiculous, Dragon Slayer. I swear on the reputation of the Silver Dragon Queen that I won't touch you for these 7 days, just like we agreed from the beginning. The hot spring trip won't cancel this promise." "The reputation of the Silver Dragon Queen." "Yes. Good reputation." Leon sat up, causing Rosvitha to lean back slightly due to his movement. With her still sitting on him, their proximity increased. "Then it's settled. You're not allowed to touch even a single hair on me for these 7 days. Leon said, feeling oddly awkward as the words left his mouth. He couldn't help but feel a strange sensation, like a delicate young lady marrying into a wealthy family. On their wedding night, the young lady, feeling aggrieved, says, "You're not allowed to touch me." The young master chuckles and says, all right, my little beauty." And then it was a satisfying night. But I digress. Risvitha nodded earnestly. I promise not to touch you, but... Leon glanced at her. I knew there was a but. But if you can't control yourself, don't blame me. With that, Risvitha leaned in slightly, and the couple gently touched foreheads, their noses brushing against each other lightly. Her delicate fragrance was much more pleasant than the high-end incense in the room. Their silver and black eyes locked, seemingly confirming each other's trustworthiness. Of course I can control myself. What a joke, I'm a mighty dragon slayer. Why would I touch a mother dragon like you for no reason? Risvitha chuckled, lightly pushing his shoulder, causing him to lay back. Then she stretched her long legs, rolled off the bed, sat on the edge and put on her shoes. All right then, it's a deal. If my dragon mark lights up once in these 7 days, Leon, you're done for. Leon sat on the bed, carefully pondering over those words. It seemed something wasn't right. Had he unwittingly fallen into the schemes of this sly mother dragon again? Though he didn't exactly know what the scheme was, judging from past experiences and his current feelings, it couldn't be anything good, right? Before Leon could fully process it, Risvitha stood up, tidied her hair and said, "Get dressed, we're going out." "Why?" Leon asked. "To soak in the hot springs, of course. We need to buy swimsuits." In reality, given their family status, they could have any service tailored to their doorstep, but the children preferred going out with their parents. Naturally, Leon and Risvitha had no objections. The two little dragonesses held hands in the swimsuit store, picking out various cute swimsuits for young dragons. Meanwhile, Risvitha and Leon browsed through the adult dragon swimsuit section. To be honest, Leon was the least fond of accompanying women shopping. Back when he was still in school at the academy, every holiday, all he wanted was to lie on his master's farm grass, hang out with the sheep, the cows, and have a chat with the donkey. But his master's wife always dragged him out shopping, and a shopping trip would last for ages. It felt just like the current situation, only instead of his master's wife, it was a mother dragon. "What do you think of this one?" Risvitha asked. "It looks good," Leon replied. "You didn't even look properly." Seeing that brushing off wouldn't cut it, Leon reluctantly turned to Risvitha. She stood in front of the mirror, trying on a swimsuit, and it seemed to fit her well. Looks good," Leon said. "It feels like there's too much fabric." With that, Risvitha changed into another one. This time there was much less fabric. So scanty that even without wearing this swimsuit, it would still make people blush just by looking at it. Leon seemed to realize something and quickly averted his eyes. "Hey, how about this one?" Risvitha asked. "Well, it's not really working," Leon replied. "You didn't even look properly again," Risvitha stomped her foot. "I did look, it's just average." From a purely male perspective, if Risvitha were to wear this swimsuit to soak in the hot springs, not only would her dragon mark light up, it might even glow all night. Risvitha pouted. "Fine, I was just browsing anyway. I already prepared my swimsuit before coming. Let's go, I'll help you pick out some swim trunks." "I'm fine going bare," Leon said brazenly. "Haha, you're really funny." In the end, swimsuits were chosen for both little dragonesses and Leon, and the family of 4 left the store. Next was the celebration segment, commemorating their first-place win at the school sports meet. The family was harmonious and celebrating this wonderful moment, yet Risvitha couldn't shake the feeling that Leon was somewhat lacking in enthusiasm. Granted, when the daughters were happy, he would be happy too, however, occasionally. He wanted to shed the identities of father and husband and just be himself. Risvitha's thoughts stirred slightly as she contemplated speaking up. However, she was preempted by Noya. Noya held out cups filled with beverages towards Leon and Risvitha. The couple quickly picked up their own glasses and handed them over. "We are really grateful for winning the school sports meet." Aye. Noya visibly wanted to continue with some words of gratitude, but she was never good at expressing herself, especially at times like this. Fortunately, Risvitha understood her daughter well and promptly intervened. when adults express their gratitude, they often start by drinking their own drinks. Noya understood and immediately lifted her little head to drink up the contents of her cup. Leon and Rosvitha also emptied their glasses of red wine in one gulp. Oh, and also, Noya's cheeks were rosy, looking incredibly adorable in the candlelight at the dinner table. I promised you that if I won the championship, I would call you. Noya looked up at Leon, pursing her soft lips, as if summoning all her courage to meet his gaze. The flickering candlelight shimmered in the trembling eyes of the father and daughter. Then the girl whispered softly, "Daddy." Before her old father could even display any embarrassment, Noya quickly added, "Actually, even if I didn't win the championship, I would still call you. Thank you so much for supporting me, Daddy." Hearing Noya say this, for some reason, Rosvitha felt much more relieved. Kinship is indeed a mysterious thing. It's like a flame that never goes out, capable of melting the hardest ice. Rosvitha glanced at Leon. Clearly, the father of the child was now in a complete state of brain shutdown. Noya's simple daddy could unleash his potential to seize first place, yet it could also leave him in a state of disarray, wandering in a world of his own. In the end, it was Rosvitha who gently kicked his leg under the table to bring him back to reality. It's okay. Winning the championship, you've put in a lot of effort yourself. Your mother and I have only done what we could. Where's the wine? Help me pour a glass, I'll drink that. Rosvitha poured him half a glass of wine. Leon drank it in one gulp. It was evident that aside from being happy and excited about Noya calling him Daddy, he was also a bit overwhelmed. Rosvitha smiled with relief. Despite the overwhelmingly harmonious atmosphere, who would have guessed that this family's situation was actually quite complex? "Oh right, there's one more important thing," Noya said. "Close your eyes first." "Huh, why?" Muin asked. Noya covered her sister's big eyes with her hand. "Be good and listen. No matter what, you can't open your eyes later." "Okay, Tilda," Muin agreed. With a smile on her face, Rosvitha rested her chin on her hand and closed her eyes. Leon naturally followed suit. Inside the private dining room, Noya jumped down from her chair, making a rustling sound. Deliberately lightening her footsteps, she walked to Muin's side and gave her sister a hug. Then she walked over to Rosvitha and gave her mother a big hug. Finally, she walked to Leon's side, tiptoed, stretched out her arms, and gently embraced him around the neck. Leon realized it was Noya hugging him, and raised his hand to respond. Noya leaned in close to his ear, lowering her voice, "Thank you, Dad." Leon didn't open his eyes, just nodded in response. But just when he thought a hug was the end of it, he suddenly felt warmth on his cheek. Was Noya sneakily kissing him? No wonder she wanted everyone to close their eyes. Such an act, Noya would never do it if anyone were watching. What Leon didn't know was that among the family of three, only he received special treatment from Noya, a gentle, fleeting kiss on the cheek from his daughter. Noya returned to her seat. "Okay." Muin couldn't wait and opened her eyes, pretending to be puzzled. What happened? "I secretly took your steak," Noya said. "Orwa sister, how could you say that?" Muin pouted. "Just kidding, here you go." "Sis, you're the best, Tilda love." The heartwarming scene of the daughter's playful laughter made Rosvitha retract her gaze and look at Leon. He seemed even more brain-dead than before, but in an instant his mood visibly improved, and it improved a lot by a significant margin. Vol 1ch 83. The next morning, the family of four set off for the luxurious 7-day hot spring tour destination, the Flowing Cloud Valley. From the Silver Dragon Temple to the Flowing Cloud Valley, even if Rosvitha flew at full speed, it would still take at least 6 hours. The journey was too long, and the children might find it a bit difficult. So they rested in the Sky City for a layover yesterday, bought some swimsuits, and had a celebratory banquet. The Flowing Cloud Valley is a sacred place for the dragon race. It is said that the hot springs here not only relieve fatigue and soothe the mood, but also nourish the body and cleanse the soul. Hey, as someone who slays dragons, coming to your dragon race's sacred place to cleanse the soul, isn't that a bit of a hellish joke? But if this hot spring really can nourish the bodies of the dragon race, hopefully, it can also heal the human body a little, then it wouldn't be for naught to come here. Moreover, the Flowing Cloud Valley is not a place one can easily go to just with money. Only Dragon King level figures with power and status in various dragon race branches can apply. Rosvitha naturally meets the application requirements, but that can only be for her alone. This time, it was thanks to St. High's Academy's guarantee that they managed to secure the opportunity for the whole family to go on the luxurious 7-day hot spring tour. So, although the reward for second place in the school sports competition was some magical grimoire, from a practical perspective, the luxurious 7-day hot spring tour at Flowing Cloud Valley was truly a rare treat. Of course, the price to pay was Leon's even rarer 7-day vacation. After several hours of flying, the family of 4 finally arrived at Flowing Cloud Valley. From the outside, Flowing Cloud Valley was shrouded in thick mist, with an ethereal atmosphere. A waterfall cascaded down from the top of the valley, surrounded by lush vegetation, countless flowers, birds, insects, and various animals. To say it was a paradise on Earth, or perhaps a paradise among dragons, would not be an exaggeration. There weren't many dragons coming and going around the valley. The entrance to the entire valley was unusually quiet, with only faint footsteps and the distant sound of the waterfall audible, exuding a sense of tranquility reminiscent of leisurely clouds and wild cranes. Noya and Muin looked at the spectacular sight of the misty valley in front of them, both wide-eyed with astonishment. However, because the surroundings were too quiet, they didn't dare to make much noise, only whispering quietly to each other. After all, this was a VIP membership-style consumption place, where even having money didn't guarantee entry, so naturally, there were far fewer first-class merits available, Leon thought. Passing through the thick fog, what came into view was a castle grander than the Silver Dragon Temple, with its majestic layout and ancient architectural style. Even top craftsmen would find it hard not to praise. Various dragon subspecies, whose names Leon couldn't even call out, circled overhead the castle, occasionally accompanied by a few roe deer running past them. On the nearby lawn, some young dragons played together, with many squirrels cautiously watching from the side or waiting for feeding. "Why aren't you thinking about your first-class merits now?" Rosvitha asked with a smile. "Even I occasionally need a break." Indeed, the breathtaking scenery could temporarily make everyone forget their irritations and obsessions. Coming here, there were only 2 purposes: to relax and to enjoy. The family arrived at the castle's ground floor lobby to check in. "Are you the exemplary champion family from St. High's Academy?" the front desk staff politely inquired. "Yes. Champions are champions, why add exemplary in front? There must be some ulterior motive." Vice Principal, that old dragon, probably got an itch again. Leon angrily thought of packaging him up and hanging him on the Empire's walls someday. "All right, St. High's Academy will cover all your expenses for the next 7 days, so feel free to enjoy any activities you like." As the staff spoke, they handed over several enchanted room cards. Leon glanced at the number on his room card, then sneakily glanced at Rosvitha's. Sure enough, they were in the same room. And that was exactly why he didn't want to go on vacation. If these 7 days of vacation were spent at home, he could comfortably sleep in his own nursery, but if he had to share a room with Rosvitha, even though she said she wouldn't touch Leon, if she truly got in the mood and acted recklessly, who could stop her? The subtle expression on Leon's face was keenly noticed by the staff, who then asked with concern, "Is everything all right, sir? Are you dissatisfied with our room arrangement? If you're not happy with this hot spring suite, we can offer another type of room." Leon's eyes lit up. "What room?" "A honeymoon suite." "Thank you, but no need." "All right, turn left ahead and go upstairs. Have a pleasant vacation." Leon took the room cards, patted his daughters' heads, and led them towards the staircase. Rosvitha shook her head with a light laugh, then followed suit. On the designated floor, Muin, holding the room card, bounced excitedly. "Oh, Tilda, I'm going to sleep in the big bed with my sister Tilda, Mom and Dad. Don't disturb us at night, Tilda." "Thank you, Muin, you just cut off Dad's last lifeline." "It's what Aunt Isabella told us before, that both adults and children should have their own private space," Noya said from the side. "I can take care of Muin myself now, so you two can enjoy your alone time." "Thank you, Noya, your intentions are really great, but Dad suggests you not to proceed." Muin, already impatient, swiped the room card and opened the door, standing at the doorway calling out to Noya, "Come on, sis." "Coming, Tilda," Noya replied, trotting over. The two little dragon sisters held hands and entered the room, then closed the door. Risvitha breathed a sigh of relief. The children have grown up, but why do you look a bit unhappy? Haha, can you guess? Leon chuckled. Risvitha clicked her tongue and didn't ask further, walking to the corresponding room door and swiping the card to open it. Leon followed behind her, entering the room together. Whether to mention it or not, although St. High's Academy always seems to use various unexpected new attempts to challenge their family, this move was quite generous. They had been booked into the top-tier hot spring suite at Flowing Cloud Valley, even more upscale than the one they stayed in at Sky City yesterday. From the foyer through the hallway, there was an open-plan kitchen, a rooftop terrace, and large floor-to-ceiling windows. Moving further inside, there was an incredibly luxurious bedroom. Pushing open the bedroom's back door revealed a private hot spring. The water emitted a warm steam, and one could faintly see various fish swimming around in it. Moreover, the location chosen here was also excellent. Lying in the hot spring, one could take in the entire expanse of Flowing Cloud Valley's sky without any obstructive buildings in sight. Not bad, Risvitha gave a short but sincere assessment. Have you never been here before? Leon asked. Risvitha shook her head. I've said it before, this isn't a place you can come to just because you have money. Although I've won first place in the school sports competition before, the first place prize at that time wasn't a 7-day tour, it was just a camera. Camera, Leon's mind wandered, as if he had realized something. Alarm bells rang loudly in his mind. Previously, when Risvitha was unconscious, he used the camera to secretly take photos of her in her bunny girl outfit. Could it be that? Just right, I brought that camera with me this time, Risvitha said. As she spoke, she opened the suitcase and took out a classic-styled home camera. Leon nervously swallowed, silently praying that this mother dragon had bought more than just that one camera. Risvitha, while adjusting the camera, muttered, "It's been a long time since I used it. I wonder if it still works. I'll take some photos of Noya and Muin later." Leon stared intently at the camera in Risvitha's hand. Well, that was his tool of the crime at the time. The bunny girl photos he took, especially the ones with him in them, were still inside. He hadn't had time to develop them. These photos in Leon's hands were powerful weapons for threatening the mother dragon. But if they fell into the hands of the mother dragon, they would be irrefutable evidence of Leon's guilt, resulting in his death sentence. No, his vacation had just begun. He absolutely couldn't die on the first day. Snap! Leon quickly grabbed the camera and held it tightly to his chest. Risvitha was puzzled. What's wrong? I'll be the photographer for this vacation. I'm a professional. Risvitha looked skeptical. Aren't you a professional dragon slayer? Since when did you become a professional photographer? I've been taking pictures of my master's donkeys since I was a kid. All right, you can take pictures if you want, but do you know how to use it? Leon nodded. Yes, I know. Of course I know how to use it. Otherwise, how did I take the bunny girl photos in the first place? That's great, let's go out, take some pictures, and tonight we have a barbecue and fireworks show, Risvitha said, then left the room. Meanwhile, Leon silently pondered how to deal with those bunny girl photos. If he deleted them, he wouldn't have any leverage against the mother dragon once the 7-day vacation was over. But if he didn't delete them, they could easily lead to disgrace for him before the photos were developed. After much consideration, Leon decided to develop those bunny girl photos as soon as possible. Hopefully, there was a photo studio or something similar nearby. With these thoughts in mind, Leon hung the camera around his neck and left the room. Vol 1ch, 84. The scenery at the Flowing Cloud Valley was delightful, making every spot perfect for photography. From the moment Risvitha led the two kids out, Leon had been snapping away, capturing no less than 20 photos. His idea was that the more he took, the harder it would be to stumble upon those last few shots of the bunny girls. However, Leon wasn't just randomly snapping shots, because if he were just going through the motions, Risvitha might not have allowed him to continue. So despite the quantity of candid shots, each one was at a level of, oh, not bad at all. In truth, Leon felt that the skills involved in candid photography were quite similar to those he used when Dragon Slayer on the battlefield. That is, steady, precise, and ruthless. The hand holding the camera or wielding the sword had to be steady, the focus or the dragon's neck had to be aimed precisely, and when pressing the shutter or striking, it had to be done ruthlessly. That's about it, Leon mused quietly to himself. Dragon Slayer truly lives up to its reputation as a noble profession that encompasses all walks of life. From inside the castle to the outside, they arrived beneath an ancient tree. 2 little dragon girls sat on the trunk, and Leon was just about to take a few shots of them when suddenly, a spotted deer appeared and licked Muin's cheek with its tongue. Muin chuckled and petted its head. "Daddy, let's take a picture with this little deer too." "Sure, but you have to make sure it behaves, okay?" Memo. All the animals for display in the flowing cloud valley were trained not to fear people, harm them, or beg for food. The little spotted deer stood quietly next to Muin, obediently facing the camera. After taking a few shots, Leon glanced at Risvitha beside him. "Let me take a few pictures of just you." Risvitha raised an eyebrow. "Is that so?" "Of course, beautiful scenery deserves a beautiful woman." HMPH, talking so nicely all of a sudden, what's gotten into you? Whether or not he had suddenly become enlightened was uncertain, but once you see the explosive bunny girl photos in the camera, one of us is definitely going to have an awakening, Leon thought to himself with a smirk. He gestured towards the spot where Muin and Noya had been just now. Right there, the lighting and angle are perfect. Risvitha walked over and sat down slowly, her slender legs crossing elegantly to one side. Her left hand rested lightly on her knee, while her right hand supported her body. The little spotted deer approached once again. Risvitha turned her head and then slowly raised her hand. Originally intending to pat the deer, she didn't expect it to sniff her smooth hand back, then closed its eyes and rubbed against her fingers. It was evident that when it had been posing for photos with Muin and Noya just now, the little spotted deer had only been cooperating out of necessity for the job. But now, being with Risvitha, there was a feeling of being subtly tamed by the queen. Leon seized the opportunity and pressed the shutter button. Under the towering ancient tree, sunlight filtered through the dense fog and foliage, cascading gracefully onto Risvitha's figure. She reached out her hand, accepting the homage and adoration of the living beings around her. The queen's dignity and the beauty of womanhood were epitomized by Risvitha in full display. Even the 2 little dragon girls couldn't help but exclaim, "Mommy is so beautiful." Even Leon found himself reluctant to move his gaze away from the viewfinder. After finishing the shoot, Risvitha approached. "How did they turn out?" "Oh, they're really good. Let me see the ones you took earlier." With that, Risvitha reached out to take the camera from Leon's hand. Leon snapped back to reality and held onto the camera protectively. Well, let's take a few more shots, and then we can look at them together." Risvitha didn't insist. "All right. How about we go check out the pedestrian street over there and take some photos in different styles?" Leon suggested. "Sounds great, to the pedestrian street we go." Muin cheered as she grabbed Noya's hand and ran towards the entrance of the pedestrian street. Risvitha cautioned them to be careful and not to fall as she followed behind. "There should be a photography studio or something similar on the pedestrian street," Leon muttered as he walked quickly after them. The pedestrian street in the flowing cloud valley still retained its quaint and elegant design style, with almost every street corner and shop serving as excellent photo spots. Risvitha led the 2 children ahead to scout for photo locations, while Leon followed not far behind, constantly scanning the surroundings for a photography studio. At that moment, a couple approached them. Leon went up and asked, "Hello, excuse me, is there a photography studio nearby?" The couple stopped and pointed in a direction. Leon nodded in thanks. However, Risvitha happened to turn her head and saw the interaction. When Leon caught up with them, Risvitha asked, "What did they say to you just now?" "Oh, nothing much, just asking where to take good photos. They said ahead, so let's go check it out," Leon replied casually. Risvitha nodded, "All right." The couple, each holding one daughter's hand, walked towards the pedestrian street, while Leon kept an eye on the location of the photography studio. Finally, from a distance, Leon spotted a photography studio, but he needed a reason to slip away on his own. Scanning his surroundings, he noticed a candy shop not far from the photography studio. Leon had a flash of inspiration and said, "Noya, Muin, would you like some candy?" Noya didn't say anything, but Muin bounced up and down, saying, "Yes, yes, yes." "All right, then you 2 wait here with Mommy, and Daddy will go buy some for you." "Okay, Tilda." With that, Leon quickly crossed the street and jogged towards the candy shop. "Oh, Mommy, Muin also wants lemon soda," Muin added. Risvitha nodded. "Okay, I'll go tell Daddy." "Don't forget sister's share," Muin reminded. "I won't, Noya, take care of Muin and don't wander off," Risvitha instructed. "Yes, Mommy." Risvitha got up and walked towards the candy shop where Leon had gone. The two little dragon girls sat on chairs by the street, their tails and short legs dangling over the edge, swaying gently. Noya kept her eyes on Risvitha's figure until the fog obscured her view, then she looked away. She glanced at her sister, Muin, who was leisurely waiting for her candy and lemon soda while hugging her own tail. Noya's thoughts stirred, and she pursed her lips before suddenly speaking up. "Actually, sometimes I envy you, Muin." Muin looked up, confused. "Envy me? Why?" Noya lowered her head, swaying her small shoes as she spoke slowly. "I envy you because you can talk to Mommy and Daddy about anything without any worries." Muin still didn't quite understand. "But sister, you can do that too, right?" "But I'm already a big kid, and big kids can't just say whatever they want," Noya replied to Muin, but it sounded more like she was saying it to herself. All along, Noya had been trying her best to play the role of a grown-up, or rather, a big kid. But she was a twin with Muin, born just 20 minutes apart, and the pressure she put on herself to mature early wasn't without reason. A long time ago, when Noya first gained her own consciousness and thoughts, she began to explore the world around her. Everything seemed so interesting to Noya, her sister, her mother, and the man who should have been called her father but who remained perpetually asleep in bed. Under her mother's careful guidance, she and her sister slowly grew up and learned about the world. At that time, their mother seemed like she could do anything. Until one day, when Noya went to visit Leon and found her mother already there. She was about to greet them when she noticed her mother's low spirits. She sat on Leon's bed, head bowed, silent, with a troubled expression on her face. Completely different from the usual elegant, stern yet gentle mother. That day Noya didn't ask her mother what was wrong, but a seed, a desire to mature and take care of her family, had taken root and sprouted in little Noya's heart, until today. When she said she envied her sister, it came from the depths of her heart. After all, no matter how you looked at it, she was just a little over a year-old dragon girl. But when she said she couldn't express her own needs like her little sister could, that was also true. That gloomy afternoon, with her mother sitting beside her father's bed in a coma, that silently mournful expression was etched into Noya's memory. So she forced herself to grow up quickly, to mature quickly, so she could take care of her mother and prevent her from showing that expression again. Muin may not understand fully, but Muin also envies sister. Muin's voice interrupted Noya's recollection. Noya tilted her head and asked, "What does Muin envy me for?" Sister is smart and capable, always taking care of Muin like a grown-up. Muin wants to become someone like sister in the future. Muin's sudden praise made Noya blush. She felt a bit overwhelmed for a moment. After some thought, Noya replied, "But how do you know what I'll become in the future?" Muin blinked her beautiful eyes. "Then what will sister become in the future?" Noya thought for a moment and replied earnestly, "I'll become the kind of person they both daughters should be." Meanwhile, the excellent old father Noya admired was currently figuring out how to print the explosive bunny girl photos from the camera. "I'm sorry, sir, but we can only print photos taken with our cameras here. Your model isn't compatible," said the staff at the photography studio. "Really? Could they be so tailored to the tourist area's theme?" "When the Dragon Slayer army comes through, your photo studio will be the first to go." "Are there any other photography studios nearby?" Leon asked. The staff member shook their head. "There's only our photography studio in the entire Flowing Cloud Valley, sir." Oh, damn monopoly. It seemed that no matter how high-end or sacred a tourist attraction was, it ultimately revolved around making money. "Well, sir, would you like to take a few photos here to commemorate your visit?" the staff member asked. "No need, my wife and I might find other ways to leave a souvenir here," Leon replied. The staff member. Leon sighed and took out a few candies from his bag, handing them to the staff member at the photography studio, then promptly left. Standing at the door of the photography studio, Leon pondered what to do next. At that moment, Risvitha happened to walk out of the nearby candy store. "Why are you here?" Risvitha asked. Leon was startled. I was buying candy." Leon shook the bag of candies in his hand. Before going to the photography studio just now, he had bought candies in advance, just in case. Oh, I see. Risvitha asked, why did you come up here? Where are Muin and Noya? Muin said she still wants to drink lemonade, so we went to buy some over there. All right. The couple walked a bit further until they found a cold drinks shop. After buying 4 cups of lemonade and leaving, they noticed a claw machine at the entrance. The prizes in the claw machine were diverse, ranging from rabbits, foxes, spiders, to bears, everything you could imagine. Hey, wait for me, Risvitha said, handing her lemonade to Leon before approaching the claw machine. She swiped the room card and began manipulating the mechanical claw. Leon walked over too. Inside the claw machine were some fluffy plush toys. Leon pointed to the cutest spider at the back. Grab that one, it's cute. Risvitha gave him an annoyed glare and continued to focus on her task, ignoring him completely. Her target was a small bear, but despite several attempts, she failed to grab it. Maybe let it go, Leon suggested. No way, I must grab that bear today, Risvitha insisted, launching into a second round of attempts. She rarely acted so childish, and Leon couldn't figure out why she was acting this way all of a sudden. He could only wait quietly on the side. After a few more tries, Risvitha finally succeeded. The little bear dropped from the claw machine's exit, and Risvitha picked it up, then handed it to Leon. Leon blinked, what's this for? To return yours. Remember last time in Sky City, you gave me one, Risvitha replied. Leon chuckled, the one I gave you was the Bear King. At most, this is just a little bear cub. Stop it, Risvitha pinched the bear's arm and walked away without looking back. Hey, I didn't say I didn't want it. My hands are full, Leon said, carrying the candies and holding 4 cups of lemonade as he casually caught up with her.